For decades, the parties that make up today's Indie Alliance have fought tooth and nail to block the Women's Reservation Bill. They've torn up papers, stalled parliament, and made up endless procedural excuses. But what if we told you their opposition has nothing to do with procedure? What if the real reason is a deeply ingrained anti-women mindset? A political DNA that is absolutely terrified of powerful, independent women. You don't have to guess. The proof is written in the darkest chapters of Indian political history. Let's take names and expose how the pillars of the Indie Alliance have historically humiliated, assaulted, and disrespected Bharat's most prominent female politicians. Let's start in Tamil Nadu, 1989. The DMK, a core pillar of today's Indie Alliance, was in power. J. Jayalalitha, then the leader of the opposition, was in the state assembly. What happened next remains a permanent stain on Indian democracy. In the middle of the assembly, a DMK minister aggressively physically charged at her. Her sari was pulled and torn in the ensuing violence. As she left the house, humiliated and physically attacked, DMK leaders stood by and laughed. This wasn't a street fight. This was the state machinery openly humiliating a female leader. That day, Jayalalitha took a vow. She would not step foot inside that assembly again until she was the chief minister. She kept her promise, but the DMK's misogynistic mindset was exposed to the world. Now let's move to Uttar Pradesh, 1995. The infamous Mirabai guest house incident. BSP chief Mayawati had just withdrawn support from the Samajwadi Party government. The SP, another massive pillar of the Indie Alliance, did not respond with political debate. They responded with a mob. SP workers surrounded the guest house. They cut off the electricity and water supply. A furious mob barged into her room, hurling vile casteist and sexual abuses. They vandalized the property and physically thrashed her. Mayawati was trapped, fearing for her life. Who saved her? Not her so-called secular allies. It was a BJP MLA, Brahm Dutt Dwivedi, who risked his own safety to physically escort her out of that nightmare. The SP proved that day that if a woman dares to challenge their power, they will resort to absolute thuggery to tear her down. Look at the pattern. DMK in the south, Samajwadi Party in the north. These are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of the exact same disease. When powerful women rise up, the Indie Alliance panics. They cannot tolerate women in the driver's seat. Is it any wonder that these are the exact same political factions that spent 30 years aggressively sabotaging the Women's Reservation Bill? The parties that laughed while a woman's sari was pulled. The parties that sent mobs to attack a Dalit woman in a guest house. These are the people who claim they want to protect democracy. They don't want women's reservation because they demand absolute submission. The Indie Alliance's legacy is built on the disrespect and subjugation of Nari Shakti. The history is clear. The choice is yours. Never forget how they treated the women who fought back.